So the world of Alberon...
Don't forget to go big so you can clip it.
I can... You guys can all be part of it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Sorry.
The world of Alberon is my homebrew setting to run adventures in. The biggest thing that kept me from running D&D for years, part of it, obviously just judgment. You don't want people to call you a nerd when you're little. But a big part of it was I didn't want to mess up people's lore. D&D is a place where when you look into the Forgotten Realms, there's thousands of years of history. There are factions and intricate things, and I was really worried that I would say, like, you guys walk into the city, you see birds flying overhead, and then I would turn the page, and it would say that, like, in the great bird plague of all the birds had died. Now I fucked up the whole story. So to get around that, the easiest thing to do was to create an entire planet with 6,000 written years of history. So that's what I did. This history is divided into 3 recorded ages that span approximately 3,000 years apiece. Alberon is a place that has seen the rise and fall of globe-spanning powers. It has experienced geological upheaval, and even places where wounds in the fabric of reality cause planar crossings. This... I forgot to bring down my map. Oh, sorry, but I'm going to edit it in post. This is Alberon. Oh no, my friends, they're gone. This is Alberon. It is
continent.
the very best that I could do at drawing Alberon in the year 1470 of the Third Age, also known as the Age of Civility. It is how the world was prior to the events of our first campaign. The first campaign
Why do you say it like
largely featured the continent of Dominion as a setting. This is where humans emerged onto the planet, where some of the last remaining dwarven coals or citadels still thrive, and a place with less magic than most of the rest of the planet. Across the sparkling green waters of the Emerald Expanse, we have the continent of Everest, where Campaign 2 took place. Everest is a place where the membrane between the material plane and the Feywild is especially thin, with the cities of Epiphany, Novistock, Petrichor, and Uhex all phasing between the Feywild and Everest regularly. It is here that the elves of the Emerald Spire rule the Gemmed Coast, while the magiocracy of the Rising Storm undergoes vast political changes in the wake of the events of Campaign 2. South, across the boiling ocean, is the settling for Campaign 3, the supermassive continent known as Mythelstream, easily the largest continent in our setting. And in fact, I have right here a little map. Stick that on the table.
Map.
Careful of the bottles, you have to thread the needle there.
Nailed it.
Mythelstream is a supermassive continent, easily the largest continent in our setting. I'll talk a little bit more about it in just a second, but the most important thing to know is that Mythelstream is a continent with a living spirit called the Spirit of Mythelstream that resists most attempts to civilize it, and the deals that were made with infernal forces to allow a few key points of light to thrive in this dangerous place still have ramifications today. Across the vast Templenon Ocean to the northeast lies the Kimpet Islands, 2 large islands separated by the Marlow Strait. The Kimpet Islands are suffused with seams of quartz through its underdark regions that resonate with magic, forming a vast, invisible grid of hexes across the land, and the setting of a hex crawl campaign that will come in the future. West across the Magebane Sea, just before reaching Dominion, is a collection of islands known as the Sunrest Islands, nominally ruled by the extension of the Anacrean Alliance on Mythelstream. Those born on the Sunrest Islands have a propensity to be sorcerers of a particular ilk of magic. Due north across the storm-capped oceans is the Ald, once the largest continent on the planet, now plunged mostly beneath the ocean. Above the waters, the subcontinent of Tanakh, the halfling kingdom of Tenderstone, and the undead Morsinsency of Gath all fight against pirates, sea giants, and worse, as untold treasures lie at the ocean's floor. And then west, across the Channel of Soot, is our final continent, Ganon. This is the home of the dragons, and was once the seat of the mighty Phazarakian Skald, a dragonborn empire that spanned much of Alberon before their fall at the end of the Second Age. Each of these continents is designed for a very different style of campaign. The first campaign, the largest sandbox you could imagine, and then kind of moving forward from there.
Never again.
Never again. So it began on Dominion, but Campaign 1, it was truly the first D&D campaign I ever ran. And so I made it too large of a sandbox. At one point, there was 9 potential big bads in the campaign, all witting or unwitting servants of Azra, the goddess of rot. Our heroes for Campaign 1 began as the ill-named Finger Gang, despite multiple chances to rebrand. This included Shay, a monk from the Zinni order that lived in
the one actual hero.
played by Tina. It included Gunter, a con man turned cleric dwarf, played by Matt. Morwen, a black tabaxi swashbuckler with a heart of gold, played by Ali. And Heinrich, a tiefling warlock who had a pact with Azra, played by my friend Miles. This chaotic group fought against the assembled souls of the Midnight Assembly. They broke a dragon siege on the dwarven citadel of Kol Taram. They sailed across the sea against my wishes to the Sunrise Island and lost Gunter in the process, who was replaced by elvish artificer Akka, played by Matt. When real life called Ali and Miles away, Heinrich and Morwen were lost to the Feywild. But luckily, the party would happen upon a gnome lost to time and a barbarian named Brenna, played by Hannah, with additional help from treant-turned-human Oakfeld, played by our friend Dan, and the swashbuckling merchant captain Eleanor Windwright, played by Alana. They traveled to the demi-planar prison of Calypsos, where they had their final confrontation with the mind flayer Lich Zystris, who has been responsible for the surge of rotting undead across the continent. After vanquishing Zystris and Shay's uncle, the Majoruxa, the campaign ended. Akka continued on with the Dungannon Antiquities Collective in the place of Drea, his dragonborn mentor, who left to fulfill the mysterious pledge she had taken on after learning that dragons had returned to the plane. Shay took on the mantle of Master of Watch for the Zinyi, and with the wise listener Gamble and lorebinder Boron at her side, formed a powerful alliance of knowledge and discipline that will further stabilize Dominion for years to come. Brenna rose to the rank of champion of the people in the gladiator ring of the Modrock, known from shore to shore as Brenna the Axe, and joined the Blood Moon Goliath lycanthropes. Eleanor gained both wealth and status as a hero, but something in her heart called her home, like the threads of fate twisting through her veins. Oakfeld traveled north across the shifting ice and toward the Ald to bring the All Faith to those who might listen.
The Ald, huh?
And then we flash forward 10 years to Campaign 2, the campaign that we just finished, and I narrowed my scope a little bit. I also had learned through the Starfinder campaign that I ran that it helped for the party to have a manager. For this reason, the heroes of this party were hand-picked by the Archfey Hearsome, the Prince of Fools, to investigate a murder with potential ramifications on the Fey-enforced Treaty of Four Seasons. Known as the Wandering Hearts, they were Ori, an elvish rogue born to a family known for magical ability in the magiocracy of the Rising Storm, where magic meant everything, played by Matt. Valis, an Eladrin paladin who came to the group a little bit late and without a memory, played by Vincent. Cheshire, a chaotic bard boiling over with pink energy who saw the strands of fate and manipulated them as if they were real, played by Tina. Billy, a hag-spawn bardlock with ties to the Aunties 3, but an equally strong bond to another member of the party.
My roommate.
This party member was Alina, a fiery satyr warlock who eventually became the champion of Cernunnos and sacrificed herself to join the Wild Hunt and break the pact tying Billy to the Aunties. Alina was played by Hannah. She was replaced by Phoebe, the Owlin sorcerer who revealed that Hearsome had put a parallel team together to deal with the consequences should the Wandering Hearts fail. Finally, Minka, the Genazi Circle of Stars druid who lived much of her life never seeing the sky. Hailing from the Lost Commune, she was tied to the astral eclipse that clung to the night sky like a baffling blanket, and she was played by Alana.
She lived under a literal rock.
The Wandering Hearts began investigating a simple murder that slowly unraveled a plot that spanned the continent. A group known as the Fracturing were attempting to break the containment field around the fallen Obsidian Spire, where the partial failure of an interdimensional prison caused the entire crystalline city to fall almost overnight when its denizens raged free. This plot brought them into conflict with fire giants, evil scholars, misled soldiers, and beneath the Underdark, far worse in the form of the creations of the Celosiocene. They fought multiple hags, each with a slight increase of power given to the aunties, unbeknownst to the party across the campaign. You fought infernal forces from the Lord of the Fifth, Levistus, who fought to help his champion, Ori's father, win. You fought against the aunties themselves in the hut that walks, and thwarted, for now, the return of Baba Yaga. And eventually rose together to defeat Ori's infernalized father, himself breaking the infernal ritual that bound the continent to an illness that slowly harvested their souls. The party was victorious, and even managed to keep Alornos alive. Though in ending the astral eclipse, the Wandering Hearts have begun a time known in Everest as the Time of Turmoil, as several greater evils are freed from the Spire.
Not all the great evils.
The vampire faction of Lord Castragas has risen, and looks to assemble their lord's armor, the set of plate mail known as the Blood Casket, to make him nigh invincible once more. Partially thwarted by a post-campaign Valis Birchbillow in non-violent fashion, a group of wayward scholars were convinced to stop their attempts to free Padme Clive from the Spire, though the fire Genasi scholar Jaren Clade would not listen and vanished soon after.
Non-violent doesn't track for me.
The Death Knight of Thay, dispatched to collect their brethren shielded from the Red Court's eyes by the astral eclipse, fell to shadows around the dome. He still guards the boundaries of the dome until its eventual fall, at which point he will be free once more. Beneath the Underdark, the army that crawls arrived beneath Everest. Minka could not keep her commune hidden for long, but she did not need to. The spindly Uncle Icarus, a stilted scarecrow-like figure, expressed his gratitude for rescuing his scouts from the Celosiocene. He expressed that the Grey Lady desired to stop this force, and then withdraw from this region. But he promised the Middle World would always be protected by the Grey Lady, and she would make her way there eventually, so that all could join the Dark family.
That's fine. This seems right for Minka's plot plot.
As 17 years pass between campaigns 2 and 3, there are some notable things that all of you have some input on. In the Magiocracy of the Rising Storm, the Meritorious Hand go to the negotiation table after a brief rebellion when Alornos Isoleros, with support from the Crimson Mage and delegates from the Emerald Spire, and by the start of Campaign 3, have begun laying the framework for the Magiocracy's transition into the Stormborn Republic. Ori would be offered a chance to join the process as an advisor. Would Ori accept?
Who would be asking?
This would be...
Be my boss.
Are you a cop?
Not a boss, so you wouldn't have a boss. You would be there purely as an advisor, and it would be... Hirson would be the first person to recommend you, but your father would ask as well.
So I guess... Follow-up question. Dad is back in a position of power?
Not a position of power, almost like an ambassador. This is somebody who, having seen what blind pursuit of magical power can do, is advocating for the transition from a magiocracy to a republic, where there is a voting body.
He's been through that therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a question for Ori, but so the father's alive. Is he still like infernalized, or has he been like uninfernalized?
He still appears infernalized.
Okay.
But was able to come out of the magically induced coma?
After about a year.
Okay.
He might have been therapized?
I certainly hope
So would you
Dream
accept?
therapy.
How long after? Within the 17 years, roughly?
Probably within like a 10-year time frame.
Probably would then.
Okay. So, we know that Ori takes up a position within the Stormborn Republic, especially as it begins, and should you all interface with the Stormborn Republic, we'll likely see some influence there. The Ausenlock, corrupt at its heart, was completely overhauled by the Crystalline Council after even those who would simply allow the corruption to spread were brought to justice. And in the wake of this, Hearsome would nominate Valis to be one of the new Iconoclasts.
Hey,
Oh.
you got promotion, buddy.
Would he accept?
Would you accept promotion, buddy?
What are the responsibilities of the Iconoclast? I
Hearsome
need a
would
job
tell-
title. I need a job
So,
description.
Very specifically, Hearsome would say something along the lines of, Valis, I simply don't care. Because this is sort of the last thing he needs to do before he can go back to the wild.
He would accept.
He mostly just wants somebody to, and he trusts you. This is a big mark of trust with Hearsome. And the mark is not that he trusts you to be a good guy, that he trusts you to do any of those things. It is that you will maintain a peace that will allow him not to come back. And he can continue to just enjoy doing things the way that he likes to.
Makes sense.
Valis would accept.
So
You're the
Valis,
reason Hearsome was so drunk at no avail.
in accepting this position, you would be one of 3 of the founding members of this new Iconoclast, and you would have some sway over who gets invited. And so we'll talk more about that between campaigns. Cheshire.
Yes.
Cheshire walked along the strings and found her way to a ship with wings. She paid for her trip with a smile and sheen and found her way to Mithelstreen, where something sings to a different tune. Perhaps we'll learn more of her soon.
Is Cheshire gonna be a...
Billy. Now in possession of most of the hut that walks.
60%.
You would eventually find that most of the missing portion is located in the Kimpet Islands and does not want to be recaptured. The hut cannot travel out of the Kimpet Islands in its damaged state, and so it's easy enough to find, but it truly is one hut on legs chasing another hut on a single leg, and it's just as fast. It's not terribly fast either way. But, Billy, you would be able to reunite the hut if you wish. What is your ultimate goal? Billy, you uniquely have access to one of the most powerful magical artifacts known to be in existence in the world.
So Billy's ultimate goal with the hut is to completely dismantle this fucking thing.
Okay.
Realizing that the mythal itself cannot be dismantled, is trying to figure out, in essence, how Baba Yaga is tied to the hut and to break that connection so that Baba Yaga cannot return through the hut.
Okay. There are 2 paths that Billy might be able to take, and we'll talk more about that between the campaigns. Good stuff. Yes.
Question for things like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if there was a possibility of the Magiocracy helping in that situation,
Yeah,
Ori
absolutely.
would want to advocate for that.
Absolutely. So I'm going to
Are
talk
there-
with Kara about that.
Yeah.
I'll talk with
You have my
Vincent about
nerds.
the other thing. In the Discord, we'll post what the outcome is so that if other people have ways that they want to help, they can certainly do
Same
that.
with I think Valis and Ori would probably want to work
yeah,
together.
absolutely.
We're all best buds.
We'd all
at
want
this
to.
point.
I want us to all stay together.
Phoebe.
Hoot hoot.
With some time to learn more of the Wandering Heart's adventures, you learned that the place from which you had made your fateful journey was a place that Billy's hut could travel to. The hut itself was a powerful piece to the puzzle of how you became how you are. So knowing that, what would you do next?
I would ask Billy if she would take me with her. I would help her. Maybe
New
she would help me learn
roommate.
some things.
Okay. So we'll pick that up as part of what Billy ends up doing, because I think it will also depend on...
Owl!
A rebound is a rebound.
Oh my god.
Only
it's
if
like a
Billy
rebound
wants her
for a
to, though,
rebound
because
for
I
a
know it might be
rebound,
weird for
'cause-
Billy.
Billy's just bouncing all over the place.
I think at this point, Billy is attempting to grow and become just better, but also realizes, damn, all my peeps gotta do other things, and I do need help with the house. Fine, as long as you don't touch anything without asking first.
That will not be a problem.
Easy enough.
can
I
still
do not
touch
have
things.
hands.
Finally, Minka,
Huh?
The rare diplomacy of the Wandering Hearts
Ah.
allowed you to turn the tide of the coming war in the Underdark away from the commune.
Hey.
But even as the horrifying Uncle Icarus left with his army of Driders, hearing that all would eventually join the Dark family was likely not exactly comforting. On top of this, you began to have vivid dreams of elves who dream in crystalline coffins in the darkness of the astral sea, and they, you suspect, have begun to dream of you.
Uh-oh.
And you know, instinctively, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that within this dream lies a certain baleful eye.
Aww.
What would you do with that?
Minka.
Help me break a house.
So, I think the first thing Minka would do would be she would attempt to turn the Enclave into a Druid's Grove.
Okay.
Just to help layer another level of protection to them, because she knows that she cannot stay forever.
Roll a d20 at advantage. This is such an easy thing to figure out right now. The other ones are a little bit more complex.
I'm so glad that I gave you an easy one, and I'm so glad I'm going to use these dice that hopefully will roll well. On Tina's die, I got a natural 20.
Minka rolls well for the first time!
This is a very important day.
Yeah.
Right?
Over the course of the first 2 years, you successfully establish a Druid's Grove within the Commune of the Lost and find that perhaps the Commune is a little bit more protected than it was before. Outstanding gameplay, just like Hannah said. And we'll pick up on that. Actually, is going to that.
That complicates things.
Take a break. We gotta go rewrite a bunch of shit.
It inadvertently puts the commune in the crosshairs a little bit more of the Celestine, but
Wrench!
that's because
Counter wrench.
this is going to be a place in the Underdark that can now really blossom, and beyond just being a place that people go to hide and to become unknown, people can go there and start again. And that is something that is very attractive, but also means, because there will be resources coming in and goods and people who know how to do things, both the Celestine and the Grey Lady are going to want the allegiance of the commune. But that is a problem for a different decade.
Yeah.
We should establish diplomatic relations between Rockstone Home and your new grove.
It's a distance.
Could be underneath it.
Further north, with the loss of the Aunties, Glacial Duneth and their war host crossed the Tongue of Fire and the Deadwater Channel to Ganon to the north, leaving a scorched, desolated, and depleted landscape across the Tyrant's Peninsula. But even in the scorched remains of the earth, tiny hands have begun to explore ways out of the increasingly dangerous Underdark. And a new tyrant emerges as the Lord of Jaws leads their kobold charges to the bold new world above. In the Gemmed Lands, Rockstone Home thrives with the patronage of members of the Wandering Hearts. They form strong relationships with the Jaws clan of kobolds to the north to form a strong and very tiny and very cute trading relationship. To the south, the egg cracks to reveal that it was just a stone. And a decades-long war between Grung and goblins abruptly and awkwardly ends.
And then they join and become a new member of Rockstone Home.
And that brings us to the year 1500 of the Third Age, to Campaign 3, and to A Tale of 12 Gems. And we will jump into what Campaign 3 will look like after we step away for a quick break.